Hi, this is Win Claybaugh. Welcome to my Best of Masters weekly audio blog for AmericanSalon.com. Next up is one of my favorite clips from the last 20 years of inspiring interviews from Masters Audio Club. The one thing that I have always noticed about you is that although you make a lot of money, that hasn't really increased your level of power, so to speak, meaning you don't use that power. I put this chapter in my book, being rich does not replace being nice, and you've always been nice along the way. Has it happened that somebody came back to you and said, you know what, John Paul, you did this or you said this for me 10 years ago and it really, really made a difference? I'm sure that you've had those things and it surprised you, like me doing that or saying that 10 years ago made a difference? Well, could you tell us what some of those things are? And the reason why I preface that you haven't really let the power take over is because I know that you are a humble man, and so to get me to have you talk about these kind of things may not be naturally something that you would do, but the people listening to this need to hear. They want to hear it because they want to do what you're doing.
When people start saying, look at me, they may not say those words, but act it. Look at me, look how powerful I am, look how much money I have, look at my status, look at my position, look at my title. They become jerks, first-class jerks. They think they're feeling good and that others are respecting them because they have power, they have money, they have wisdom, they have tons of friends, they have whatever they have. But in reality, people say, God, what a jerk. Who does he think he is? We know who he is. He doesn't have to go around and remind us all the time. That's terrible. When I share things with people, I share things not just to speak words, but I hope that what I share with them are things that can help them. And when someone comes up to me and says, whether it's, gosh, JP, you told me to stick aside 10% of my income for myself, put it in the bank first just for me. They say, JP, it really worked. It makes me feel really good. Anytime I could tell somebody, whether it's smile at someone, look them in the eye, and they come back a day, a week, years later and say, gosh, that really worked. That's my reward. It makes me feel really, really wonderful. And I think on the planet Earth, we're all here to do something. The more we do to make others feel good or learn or have a better life because of us without asking anything in return, that's where we get the real power in life. Because it's people saying, you did good by me. You tell this great story that I would love for you to share with our listeners. I'm sure you could have had the attitude that, well, we'll wait till we get our first $1 million and then we'll look around and see what causes we can support. Or, well, money's tight, we'll wait till we have our first $20 million. People say, if I had a $20 million, bank account, of course I'd write out a check for $10,000. But I know that you and Paul didn't wait for that. I know that soon into your minimal success, you all of a sudden were starting to give back. And you tell this great story about being in a restaurant. Can you tell that story? You bet. We were in business 2 years before we could ever pay our bills on time. We paid them. They were always late, never on time. 2 years into business, we paid our bills on time, and I had $2,000 in the bank, and every bill was paid on time. Not paid off, but paid on time. I was on top of the world. I was the king. I was the happiest, richest guy on the planet. $2,000 in the bank, can't believe it. So I took a friend of mine down to this Mexican restaurant in Marina del Rey to celebrate. Now, I knew no matter what we ordered off that menu, it wouldn't cost more than $15 each, no big deal. Right. For the first time in my life, I ordered off the left side of the menu. It told you what you got, not the right side, which told you the price. Before I look at the price, see how much it was, and I look over and see what you get for that price. Right. This time it was, off the left side was great. Right. Well, right in front of me was a table of inner city children. And I know what inner city children look like and how they dress because I'm from the inner city. And they were white, black, brown, yellow, just a mixture of kids from the inner city and a couple of moms at each end. You knew that for this dozen or so kids, it was someone's birthday party special occasion. The lady's back was to me, at the table right in front of me. I was elevated a little bit. And she was looking at the menu, and her finger went, what I did all my life, see what you get for $3.95, $2.95, and then looked across and saw what you actually got for that money. Right. Well, I counted the table, dozen kids, couple adults, 14, big deal. So they got 5 desserts and spent $15, $20 each, Right. I've got $2,000 in the bank, my bills are all on time. Something just came over me, and I followed the waiter into the kitchen. And I said, look, those kids there's some special occasion. You go back and tell that lady that she's to order anything she wants off the menu, but someone in here is not ordering off the right and then looking to the left. They're going down the left. You order wherever you want for the kids. This person's picking up the bill and the tip. So when you're done, you don't pull a dime out of your pocket, you just walk away. If you'll do that, I'll give you a 20% tip. Now in those days, a 10% tip was a big deal.
Right.
So I went back to my seat, said, but you cannot tell her who it was. You cannot say who did it. And I sat down. The waiter told her. She stood up and looked around. Started with me. I was directly behind her. Could be that guy. And looked around. Slowly went around the room and ended up with me again. Could be this guy. With her back to me, looking over the audience, trying to find out who in that restaurant did it. She said in a very loud and evangelistic voice, whoever you are that did this for me and the kids, God bless you. You have no idea what you've done for me and the children. And the restaurant just stopped. She was so loud and looked at her and she says, God bless you, thank you. As she said that, goosebumps went right through my body. I mean, in fact, right now while we're talking, they're starting to pop up. I got the greatest high I've ever had in my life. I was high as a kite and stayed that way. But the bottom line is, I did something for someone else without wanting anything in return. And I felt super about it.